Hello and welcome to Wednesday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where we're going to be looking at another puzzle by the great Peter Veenis today, Piotr V. This one is called Dodekanesos, which I presume is a reference to the Dodecanese, which I know are Greek islands. I know very little about them apart from that. I don't know why this puzzle is called. Maybe these islands are somehow a bit like the Dodecanese geography. I don't know, but anyway, there are 7 islands in the grid, and the reason we're doing this today, by the way, my brain is flying all over the place, is because it's been recommended, yet it only seemed to come out on Logic Masters Germany yesterday. So you guys are very fast at solving your Sudokus, but also when I saw that this was being recommended, I had a look at the rule set, and it seems to be a hybrid of Nurikabe and Sudoku. Now, I absolutely adore the logic puzzle Nurikabe. It is one of the great tragedies of the modern world that Nurikabe, which used to have a brilliant website where you could race Nurikabe against the world's best solvers. That sort of finished for some dreadful reason to do with technology. And so my chances to do Nurikabe nowadays are few and far between. But today, Peter Veenis has managed to give me that chance. So that is what we're going to do. And I've got loads of given digits as well. This has got 3 stars out of 5 for difficulty on Logic Masters. So I guess that means it's average, although what that means, I don't know. I do not trust the ratings over there. I always think that they grade things far too easily. But we'll look at the rule set of this one in just a moment or two. What do I need to tell you about first? Oh, let's start off with a poem. Yes, thanks very much to Stuart Birding for tweeting this to me. I am a massive fan of the poet Brian Bilston. And if you've never read his poem Refugees, I commend it to you heartily. I've read that on the channel before, but this one popped up today, and it struck me as relevant given that yesterday I released a bonus video on the channel about cryptic crosswords, and one of the big techniques you'll find in cryptic crosswords is the homophone. And here, this only really works if you can see the words written down. So sometimes the power of a homophone will come out of nowhere and just hit you, like being struck by a 10-ton truck, articulated lorry. And the quote marks are lovely, and the spelling of lorry is a joy to behold. For me, at least, these are the things that give me joy. I hope for some of you out there that brings a smile to your face. A homophone, of course, is a word that sounds the same as another, but is spelt differently and has a quite different meaning. So hopefully it's clear what's going on here. Anyway, what else can I tell you about? I need to do some birthdays, don't I? So happy birthday to Polly from your housemate Sophia. And apparently Polly, when solving, she has an eccentric code-cracking alter ego called Paolo. I would like to have an eccentric code-cracking alter ego. I don't know what mine would be called, but Polly, anyway, I hope Polly and Paolo, you have an absolutely brilliant day today with, of course, lots of cake. And also to Elaine, your boyfriend Darren got in touch and said that the two of you love watching the channel, which we're delighted to hear. And I hope that, Elaine, you also have a brilliant day today. Other than that, I wanted to give a thank you to Yuki Reiner. Yuki's been helping us to try and sort out how we might stream our 500,000 subscriber special app, which because we wanted to do it so that I would solve some of the puzzles and Mark would solve some of the other puzzles, and Yuki has been helping us to try and work out how we might do that. So hopefully that's not going to be far away, and I'll announce it on the channel and probably on Twitter as well in the next couple of days. Other than that, please subscribe, please like, please support the channel however you want. Patreon, apps, you know it. Anything would be helpful. And let's get on with Dodekanesos by Peter Veenis and see what's going on with this one. So we have got the following rules today. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Shade the grid according to the following rules. All odd digits are water and should be unshaded. All even digits must be shaded to form islands. All water cells must be orthogonally connected, but there cannot be any 2x2 areas of water. An island is formed of orthogonally connected cells. Islands cannot touch each other orthogonally, but they can touch diagonally. Digits may repeat on an island, and a cage cell is representing the leftmost cell in the top row of an island, and the clue of the cage cell, that must be the number I guess, is equal to the sum of digits, equal to the sum of the digits of the island, right? Not necessarily all cage cells are given. Right, now I appreciate, because I know what Nurikabe is, I probably have a head start here in terms of understanding this. So let me try and explain what I think is going on. So I think that these cage cells are going to form islands. Let's draw some islands in the grid. I'm not doing this with any, that's not going to work. I'm not doing this with any amount of, I'm going to have a struggle at the top there to make that work. Let's do that like that. This is not going to work either, although no, this doesn't work. Let me do that. That's going to stay in the corner. Right, so let's imagine that we thought this might be the disposition of islands. That's not going to be right, because although the white cells, which it's not going to be right for many, many reasons, I've just realised, because we're told all of the unshaded cells are odd. So I've got the wrong number of odd cells in all of these boxes. I've got too many even cells in this box, and although it's true to say that all the white cells, I think, are orthogonally connected with each other, orthogonally means sharing an edge, you can see I've got all loads and loads of 2x2s everywhere, which I mustn't have. So yeah, I understand the constraints that are going on. Oh, the other thing I've done wrong, I've just realised, is that these clue cells are saying, where you have a caged cell, it's the top leftmost cell of the island. So I can never have cells like this in an island, because then this one should have been the one that had the 20 clue in it, if I read the rules correctly. So basically ignore me. I've totally made a complete horlicks of explaining how the puzzle works. But basically we've got to divide the grid into odd and even numbers. There's going to be some even numbers on islands. These clues are going to be quite useful for working out what the islands do, and don't put any 2x2s in the unshaded cells. There we go. That's my potted version of the rules. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. Now I get to play. Let's get cracking. And the first thing I'm going to do here, I think, is to shade in the cells we're given, because that must be even. Now I'm meant to use, now we've got a choice today. We've got a choice. I don't know which choice I'm going to go with, because normally when I do odds and evens, I do orange for odd, don't I? And blue for even, because I think that is the friendliest to people who suffer from colour blindness. So maybe I'll do that, because often in shading puzzles I use grey for shaded and green for unshaded. But that might not be as colourblind friendly. So let's not do that. What am I doing now? Let's just restart. That's going to be easier. So what we're going to do is everything that is even, there's only 2 even digits, I'll make blue. Everything that's odd, I will make orange. Now, these are island clues, aren't they? So they must be even digits, assuming I've understood the instructions at all. And as I was doing the example, I was noticing that because these are the top leftmost cells of their islands, can't we just go to the north and west of each of these island cells and shade those in as water? I think that must be right, because if these cells were not water, then the 44 clues should have been in one of those 2 cells. That's how I read the rules anyway. 2 here. I can't make that 2 cells, because then both cells would have to have a 1 in them. So that's a 2 in the corner. No song for you, Mr. 2. And that must be bounded by water in order to be an island of size 2. Now this, hang on, this 18 clue, I can put water into those positions, but also 18 I can't do in 2 cells. And I can never come up and do something like that, because then this would have had the 18 in it. So this is actually quite doable. It's got to be a 3-cell string. Those have got to be water. Avoid a 2x2 of water, so make that blue. Those have therefore... Right, so this box is done. When I say done, I mean we've got all the parity done. There are only 4 even digits between 1 and 9. inclusive. So that means, well, I actually know that 2, 4, 6 and 8 add up to 20, so a quick bit of maths tells us that those have got to be 4, 6 and 8, which that 2 would also have told us. That's got to be a 2, that's got to be a U pentomino of odd digits. Oh, I wanted to connect this to the other blue cells, but that's yin-yang, and that's a quite different puzzle, so we don't have to connect this to anything else. Right. So that's got to be orange, using the absence of bluification to the west or north of a blue cage cell. Okay, and now we're stuck. Let me think about this. Right, the bottom row has all of its evens, so those have got to be odd. The 6 clue here, if it was 2 cells, it would have to be 2, 4. That might be possible. It could also just be a 6 in the corner, couldn't it? This 18 clue needs to be... okay. Okay, there's something about this 18 clue that I think we need to register. And that's that where does this 18 clue get its even digits from? And I think the answer is box 1, because it can never get to a cell that's outside box 1 without it being a 20 size region. If it gets that cell, it's got to take both of those. That's all 4 even digits, and in fact that's ruled out by this cell, because there would then be 5 even digits in the top row. And it clearly can't get here or here without taking a whole plethora of even digits that won't exist. So either this cell or this cell, not both, have to be blue, which means these cells have to be orange. Oh, that's close, isn't it? It's close to doing things. We've almost got 5 oranges in this column. The 20 clue. Well, that's got to grow. It's got to come down here, and it's got to grow more than that as well, because it could only by this point have reached, if that's a 6-8 pair, it would only have reached the size of 14. So it needs to grow at least 1 more cell. Okie dokie, where do we look now? I don't know. Oh, avoid a 2 by 2 there, so that's got to be blue. Does that blue join to that? Does it have to join to the 44? Or could that be orange? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. 1. Maybe it's Sudoku. 1 is a little bit restricted in that box. Look, it's got to be in one of these 2 cells. Now, if this was 1, that would force a 6 into the corner. Right. That digit, whatever that digit is, has got to go... Oh, no, it doesn't. It could be here. No, okay. So, all right, now I'm getting stuck. Do we think this puzzle is... What's it going to major on? Is it majoring on Nurikabe type logic, or is it going to be more Sudoku logic? I think it's going to be more Nurikabe at this point. That's my feeling. So, what do we do next? That's a big clue, isn't it? 60. That's taking at least 3 boxes worth of all the even digits in a box. So if it had all the even digits in those boxes, they would add up to 60, because there would be 20 in each box. So this is quite an extensive island. This is also quite an extensive island. But 7 in this box has to be in one of those 2 cells, I think. Which means, which I see. Okay, that places 7 here in box 4, which means that's got to be orange, which means that's got to be blue to avoid a 2 by 2. That's probably part of the 60, isn't it? Now, what next? Is it possible both of those are orange? That would force the 44 to sort of come out this way. But it could do that, I think. It would only take 3 cells in row 2 if it did that. Okay. Can't see how to do this. Certainly not with any aplomb, that's for sure. These squares have got to be from 2, 6 and 8. Let's just put that in case that's relevant. So the 2 in box 1 is either there, which would force this to be a 3-cell blue region, 3 more cells blue region, because we couldn't make 2 cells add up to 18. But this could be something like 6 here, 8 here, 6 here, and that would be a 3-cell region adding up to 20, and that would be okay. Oh no, okay. It does amuse me, these 3-star puzzles, where literally, you know, it's not clear at all to me what I'm meant to do here. Where's the natural next deduction coming from? I think we'll get there, but it might take a few minutes to actually figure it out. 3 is now quite... Oh, 3 is very restricted, actually. In this box here, it's only one of 2 places, so there's a 3 in one of those cells. One of these is even and one of these is odd. Is that important? Yes, believe it or not, it is. Because I know one of these is odd, and I know one of these is odd. So that's all the odds taken up between these cells, which means this cell has got to be even. So that's 4, 6 or 8. But that's, I don't feel like that's going to be terribly clever. Okay. What about one of those cells has got to be even at least, otherwise there's a 2 by 2 there. Or maybe it's something more meta. Maybe there's something we can do sort of with just thinking through the implications of this 60 clue. Oh no, I know what it is. It's obvious. It's obvious once I had the right thought. That, I said this even a few minutes ago, that's taking all 3 of its digits from this box, isn't it? So that means the 3 digits in this blue region add up to 18, which means that must be a 2. Which means that's not a 2. Now that means that this has got to grow. So this does have to be at least 4 cells large. Because we can't make 2 cells in box 4 add up to 18. So it must take that cell. Now this, this is lovely. So that's got to orthogonally connect, which means that gives us this. We've got a U pentomino of odds here, so that must be even. We can't take this as blue because then it would add up to 20, so that's got to be orange. And those 2 squares are now a 6, 8 pair, which means that's a 2 in the corner. And if that's a 2 in the corner, that's got to be even. So that's even, which means that must be odd. Oh, here we go. At least once I got over the hiccup at the start, we're actually getting some digits now. That's got to be a 2 by Sudoku. So that's got to be a 4 or an 8. And one of these has got to be a 4 or an 8 to complete the quota of evens for this box. I've got all my odds in this. Oh, look, yeah, there's loads going on now. That's got to be odd to complete the quota of odds for row 1. That's got to be even to do the quota for row 2. That's got to be even to do the quota for this box. So this is now a 6, 8 pair, which is resolved. It doesn't give me that one. I've now got... What have I got here? 22. I've got 22 so far in this 44 clue. So I need another 22. Right, how do we do that? I've got a 6, 8 pair there, which seems to require that to be a 4. Whoops. So this is a 6, 8 pair. I've got... What should we do now? Have we got any 2 by 2s that we've got to avoid? I'm not immediately seeing them. Have we got any I don't know. I don't know. Oh, come on, Simon. Have an intelligent thought in your head. What are you doing? 2 has to go in one of those 2 cells. Now, that's... Right, I understand. This is the same point as I didn't get in box 1, isn't it? At least I've got it a bit quicker this time. So, in order to complete this 20 clue, it's got to have 18's worth of digits that are even in box 4. Well, this clearly can't be part of that. So that must be part of a different region, and that must be a 2 therefore, because I'm going to take 18 here, the 4 even digits add to 20. So this is a 2, which means there's a 2 in one of those cells. This has got to be 4, 6 or 8. But do we know... Oh, yes, we do. Okay, now we can use the 2 by 2. Because one of these cells here must be even to avoid this being a 2 by 2. Now, if it was this one that was even, that would require, for this 20 to be complete, that would require 5 even digits in this box, because this would be the last even digit. So those would both be odd. And you can see that wouldn't add up to 20. So I think that's got to be even. Those 2 have got to be odd. This has got to be a 4, 6 or an 8. I've now got all my odds in this column, so that's even, which is not 3 therefore, so this is 3. And therefore odd. This is one of each. And... Right, now we can look for more 2 by 2s, I think. We can look... we can have 2 by 2 of islands, that's fine. So don't worry about that. As there's a 2 in one of these cells, that's the 4th even digit in this column, so that cell's got to be odd. I keep wanting to connect this upwards. Don't think about that, because that's total nonsense. Okie dokie. Is there a connectivity point here? Let's just keep track of it all. No, all our oranges are looking fairly sensible, aren't they? All our oranges belong to us. They are all connected, or look certainly like they could connect fairly simply. Do we know one of these is... Yeah, we know this is sort of a domino, one of each. So I know there must be a 4 in one of these 2 cells. Does that matter? Don't think so. It might be the 60 clue. Does the 60 clue come down here, or does it... Can it get everything it needs from sort of a... The 44 clue needs... What did I say that needed? 22 more, but it could get that one, couldn't it? So if it took all 4 of the even digits in box 2 and those 2, we'd already be at a count of 34. We'd still need more. We'd still need more. That would only be 34. We'd need another 10. So how does this not take these? Because this is going to have to pinch 10 from... Yeah, oh, you know what this might be? You know what this might be? Oh, I should have thought of this straight away. I bet you there's some constraint in terms of the total number of even cells in the grid. How many clues have we got here? We've got 24. Trying to see if there's a quick way of doing this by adding up things that have a sort of multiply together to give multiples of 10. That's 20. That's 80. That's 100. That's 150. That's 168. So it's 168 of even digits clued. And there are 180 of evens digits in the puzzle, because we know each box has 20 worth of evens, and there are 9 3 by 3 boxes. So there are 12 blue cells, or cells summing to 12 that are not clued. Right. So this is interesting, because now we can state absolutely categorically that that 60 and this blue string here are connected. And we can say that because we know one of these two squares is blue. And therefore the minimum sum of this tetromino, whatever it looks like, is 2. Let's make this a 4-6 pair. That's already 12 plus something here that's not 2. So it's in fact it's not 4 either. So this little string of digits here adds up to at least 16. So if this was not part of a clued cage, there would be too many even digits in the puzzle. So this tetromino here is part of this. Does that mean that has to be blue? Or can this sort of run something like this, maybe? Oh no, hang on. That doesn't look right. If it did that, wouldn't this always be isolated from its friends? Yeah, I want to say that must be true. Yeah, I mean, if that's orange, to connect this to this, however I do it, whatever circuitous route I take, this cell gets isolated in its own island, and yet it's water, and therefore that's a paradox. Now we don't want the paradox here, so that's blue. No, you can have 2x2s of blue in this puzzle. It's not yin-yang. It's still not yin-yang, Simon. So that's almost got us a whole load of blues in this column, but not enough. Maybe it's about those 12 cells that are not clued. I've not found any yet. That could be unclued if it doesn't connect to the 60. There could be something down here, actually. Okay, but I want to look out for that. There are 12 unclued cells. Well, I do know that a dodecahedron has 12 sides. I'm just wondering if that's why this is called Dodekanesos. No, I don't think it's that. I think... No, the Dodekanesos is saying there are 12 islands, or it's saying... Are there 12 islands in the Dodecanese? I don't know. Anyway, let us instead think about what? That. I'll just see. How can I not see that? That's a 2x2 that's staring me in the face. I'm so sorry. So that's... I don't know that it's useful, but at least we've got it. So they're 4, 6 and 8 now. This square can't be 4. There's definitely a 4 in here. This is 18's worth. So it's contributing. Definitely pulling its weight in terms of the overall 60 total. Oh, goodness me. Well, that gives me 5 odd digits in row 8, so all of those are even. Good grief. So that's presumably a bit powerful. 2, 4, 6 and 8. Let's get rid of that. There's one more, probably here. One more even digit to find. That... Right, that can't be even, can it? Because if that's even, that's odd, and it's isolated. So that's got to be odd. I've still got one more odd to find. How do we do this? Hang on. Those two digits are a 1-5 pair, so maybe that's how we do it. Yeah, that's given me this digit. That's a 9. So that's a 9. So it's Sudoku, of course, that's now... Yes, okay, now where does 1 go in this row? 1 goes... I've been so bad in this puzzle. I really have. I have floundered around. I'm so sorry, Peter. I did not mean to be in floundering mood today. But it does seem that I am. That's a 3 by Sudoku now. One of these is a 3. Okay, so now I need 1, 5 and 9 into those squares. I'm just going to start pencil marking liberally now in an effort to redeem myself. Right, I've virtually done this row, haven't I? I need 1s and 7s. So that, oh, yeah, okay, so this is a 1 by Sudoku. That's a 7. That's a 7. So that feels quite powerful now. That's a 5. This is a 1, 9 pair. This is a 5. And has that broken into the puzzle for me? Maybe. Those squares at the bottom are now 1s, 3s and 9s. That's not able to be 1. So this square here is 5 or 7. One of these is blue. I know it's going to be this. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, I'm all over the place. Well, it's not this one, is it? Because I've already got 4 evens in this column. I don't know how I didn't spot that either. So that's odd, which means it's 5 or 7, but it's not 7. So that's 7. This is 5. This is even. This has to get out and connect with its friends. So that's odd. Is this island big enough? Oh, no, look, it can go either way as well, actually. So even if it isn't big enough, we don't know which way it's going to grow. Okay. Let me think about this. So this square is 4 or 8 only. There cannot be a 6 here. There must be a 6 in one of these 2 squares, so that is not able to be 6. This digit and this digit are the same, which I don't think tells us what's going on. Now we've probably got loads of other instances here of where I've got four evens in a row, or 4 evens in a box, or 5 odds in a column or something, and I'm just not spotting it. Bar humbug. Okay, I can do 5 in this box, I think, Sudoku wise. That's a 5, that's a 3. So I need to put a 9 in one of those 2 cells. Those 2 squares have got to be a 7, 9 pair. That's somehow not resolved. Now, if that's not 3, is that going to be useful? Don't know. That square is 1 or 9 only by Sudoku. Sees a 3 here. So, right, let's check what count we've got towards with this 60. We've got 20 there. We've got another 20 there, so we're on 40. So I still need another 20. So this blue region does have to grow, for sure, because whatever I put in these 2, it's not enough. But which way does it grow? That's the question. Ah, that's beautiful. Wow, that's beautiful. Okay, well here's the thing I've just spotted. Where does this region here get its remaining 20 from? We know it takes these 2 cells. Can it ever take a cell then that is not in this box as its extra cells? And I think the answer is no, because to get to a cell that's in this box or this box, it has to take 4 cells in the middle box, which would add up to 20 and therefore complete the 60 total. For instance, if it went down here and then up here to here, you can see it's taken 4 cells in the central box, so it's already reached 60 before it gets this cell. Now, what does that mean in terms of where it cannot go then? So it can't get to this cell. There's no way we can connect either of these end cells to this cell in just 2 more cells. So that's definitely orange. Okay. How do we do this? There must be... Can we say that this has to be blue? I know that yeah, I know 2 of these 3 cells have to be blue. And I know that this 40, here's a point, this is probably the point. This 44 now cannot take any blue cells out of box 5 or it will break the 60 total. So where's this 44 getting its total from? And in particular, well, we know it can't come through that cell. So the most, it's going to have 20 in this box, 34, so it has to come down here. That has to be blue. And if that's blue, it's the 2, because that's the digit we've not placed in this column, which means this cell's got to be orange. And this has still got to grow, because it's only on 36 now. So that's got to be blue. That's, this is lovely. This is really clever, Peter. So now that's the 4th even in this row, so both of those have got to be odd. So now, okay, so now I've got to put, so 2 of these 3 cells are blue. Right, and it's not those 2, because if those 2 were blue, I've isolated this little triomino of water, so that's blue. And the only question now is, well, no, it's not a question, it's done, because that's the 4th blue in this column. This is brilliant, it's absolutely brilliant. So that's got to be blue to complete the quota of blueness in this 60 region. Isn't that clever? It really is very lovely. So now, well, now I've got all my blues in this row, so those have got to be orange. Now, goodness me, how are we going to make this? Well, that's got to be blue. So I've got, that's got to be 9, because it's got to be odd. That can't be odd, now it's blue. So that's 20, 34, 36. I need 44, so that tells me that's an 8. Therefore, that's an 8, that's a 6. That means that that's given me a 6 here, so that must be a 4. So that's not 4 anymore. This 6 gives me an 8 here, apparently, which gives me a 4 here, therefore that's a 6. This is going 6, 8. That's 8 by Sudoku. That's got to be a 4. Is it going to stop now? It might stop now. Yeah, 8 must go there in the middle box by the power of Sudoku. Again, outrageous of these constructors making me do Sudoku in their Sudoku puzzles. Those 2 squares have got to be even to complete the even quota for this box. So that needs to be the 6. That's got to be the 4. And how do we do this middle bit? Can we just fill it in? That's got to be not 2. That's got to be not 6. I'm slightly worried about this. Oh no, it's this 4, look, that's doing it. So that's 2, that's 8, that's 6, that's 2. Which means that's 4, that's 4, that's 8. And hopefully we've just got 1 digit left there, which is an 8. And now all the evens are done. We've effectively, we've got like a puzzle within a puzzle, haven't we? We've done all the evens, and now hopefully all the odds will work. Now, do we have any constraints on these odds at all in terms of their, in terms of anything actually, or is this literally just an fill in a sort of a pentomino driven Sudoku? I think it's just normal now. So all we've got to do is fill in the digits 3, 5, 7 using just normal Sudoku rules. Might be wrong about that, but that's what it feels like. 1's got to go in one of those squares, so we've got an alignment of 1's, look, in rows 4 and 5. There must be a 1 in this domino, therefore, and that 1 tells us where it goes. So that is a 1, which means this seems to have to be a 1. That 9 tells us that that's 9 and that's 3. So there's a 3 in one of these cells. It's probably useful in a manner I can't tell. Those are a 5, 7 pair, but there's a 5 here, so that's got to be 5. Whoops, that's got to be 7. That's got to be 9. Therefore, that's 9. That's 7. This is 3 or 5. This is 3 or 7. Oh, Why have I got an 8 there? I shouldn't have an 8 there. That should be a 6. Okay, that's okay though. That's just me not being able to see there's an 8 there or an 8 there and doing absolute nonsense. Now, if this sees 5, 7 and 9 and 1, so that can only be a 3. Therefore, that's a 5, that's a 3, that's a 7, that's a 5, that's a 7, that's a 1. Therefore, that's a 1, that's a 9. And this should be a 3-9 pair. 9 and 3 go into the grid. Click, tick, yay! Okay, so let's get the excuses out of the way. I was so slow, it is not true, on understanding the implications of this 18 gauge at the top, then drilling down through here. I think the only thing I did remotely intelligently was thinking about the 60 clue and this stuff down here. That did seem to yield some fruit, didn't it? And we should have 12's worth of islands that are, oh, it's here. So this island is the unclued island because that adds up to 12. I think that is the only unclued element of the whole islandage throughout the grid. What a beautiful puzzle, eh? Really, really cool. And I love the fact that it sort of hybridized two of my favorite things, Sudoku and Nurikabe. No better way to spend a Wednesday. Thank you for your company. Let me know in the comments how you got on. I suspect there'll be some quick times today. I hope I didn't annoy you too much and make you shout at your screens. I really wasn't intending to do that, I promise. And I'll try and do better tomorrow. We'll be back later, of course, with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.